Hi, Gooch.
Hey, Mookie.
How you doing?
Hello. So I want to welcome you all to Chair Talk, where we just sit down and we get to the heart and soul of soccer and life. Today is an amazing day. It's an amazing day. We have some soccer legends, big-time legends, people who have played at the highest level, played across the globe. And we got my boy Mabricio, who's one of the first people that I selected as my strategic leadership team because I needed good people who know what they're doing and can help us elevate the standard. So I'm just so happy to have Mabricio Wilson from Footballers. We got DaMarcus.
Thank you.
Yes, we got DaMarcus Beasley, the legend. We got Oguchi and Onweyu, the legend. So I'm just going to kind of go over some of your accolades right now. I will start with you, Beasley. You just retired. So you played in 4 World Cups. Man, you were the top scorer in one of the Gold Cups. You're a 4-time Gold Cup winner. You won a Dutch Cup. You had 2 Dutch championships. Oh my goodness, man! And there's more. You won 2 Swedish championships. You were
Scottish.
Oh, did I say Swedish? Oh, Scottish. Yes, Scottish. And then you won a Scottish League Cup, and then you're a 3-time U.S. Open Cup winner. Man,
Yeah.
you've done some work here. You've done some work.
It's just showing I'm just old. That's all that is. There's a lot of time and effort putting into all that. But yeah, it's when I look back at my career now that I kind of settled down and I've been out of the game for 7 months now. It's pretty cool to kind of sit back and kind of see what where life took me as far as soccer and all the blessings that I got.
Yeah. Let's go into Gooch here. Gooch, you were in 2 World Cups. You played in the Champions League. You were the Footballer of the Year. People don't talk about that enough. You're a 3-time Gold Cup winner. You were in the Confederations Cup. I mean, you were one of the best. You got the best foreign player in 2005. My gosh, you're a Gold Cup runner-up. You have 2 Belgian championships. You're a 1-time Dutch Cup winner. My gosh, man. Got a round of applause for these guys, man. The work you guys have done.
Yeah,
it almost seems irrelevant when you tell Bees right before mine. So
no, they're both great. No, they're both amazing. People need to put some respect on your name, the work that you guys have done, and I'm just glad that as an association that we can start talking about it. And you guys are now moving into businesses and different things. But let's stay here because I know you guys have. And I, as a fan, I'm excited for a podcast that the 3 of you guys have created. And actually, first, Mabricio, do me a favor and tell the people about Footballers. Because there's so many different, these cultural groups, these fashion groups. But you were you and your brother, Leroy, were the first to kind of be out there doing this lifestyle brand. So just tell us about Footballers, because you guys are one of the original, football, soccer, where fashion meets life. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, we've been around for 10 years now, and we just wanted to develop a company and a brand that represents who we were as Americans who love the game, who grew up with the game. Mm-hmm. And we were tired of soccer being seen in the media as like a C-class sport. Every time you watch a TV show, they had a little chubby kid playing soccer with big shin guards on. So we just wanted to take things by grips, and we knew there was millions of people who are like us, who love the same things we love, who wanted to represent the game off the field and still be fashionable. So we wanted to take care of that market and fulfill that market. So it's been a great journey, and I had the pleasure of having 2 of my brothers along that journey with me for the last 10 years. So it's been fun.
And I'm telling you, I'm excited for this podcast, and I don't even want to say the title of it. I'm clutching my pearls. I'm clutching my pearls.
That's all Gooch. That's all.
Really?
That's
when I heard that, I was like, "There's no way Gooch co-signed that." I was like,
Gooch came up with it. Gooch came up with the title.
I have to hear this. That's not even a question on here, but where did you guys come up with that title? Oh my gosh. Gooch. I was wrong. I was like, "There's no way Gooch came up with that."
Let me wet my whistle real quick. So the show is called The Crack, right? And The Crack Podcast. And obviously connotations will make your head go to maybe some negative things, but that's absolutely not what we're about. We were all trying to think of a name for the podcast that would be encompassing of all of us, but that would be different than stuff that's already out there. And, every name is taken. Everything's taken. There's no such thing as an original name or original title. And I was like, why don't we just call it The Crack? I was like, and not have to do with obviously the negative side, but in reference to Bees knows, like in Spain or in Latin countries in Mexico, when a player calls you crack, that basically means like you did something amazing, you're a great player. In the UK and in England, when people come up to you and they're like, what's the crack? It's like, what's the word? What's the 411? Talk to me. And Nuki knows, like in New York, they say, what's the crack? That's the crack. That's that good stuff. That's
you're addicted to it.
Yeah, you're addicted to it. I mean, so basically, our and they can speak further to it, is our idea of this project is not to be another fish in a huge space of the sameness, right? And our personalities, throughout the years, we've had multiple heated conversations that don't take
arguments.
Arguments, if you want to call it that, but it doesn't take away from our closeness, right? And we said, why can't we have this realness on a podcast live and let people see our real reactions? So that's exactly what you're going to see from it.
And I think that's one of the things I love about what you guys are doing is like you have a lot of people who are fans who are talking about the game. You have a lot of people who, have been watching, but to have the expertise of, you guys who have played the game at the highest level, who have relationships with people who are currently playing and the big time clubs, like Oguchi played for AC Milan. You played for Ranger. I mean, come on now. You guys have just a whole different expertise and experience on the game from being American legends. I mean, in Mabricio, I call him the connector or the mayor half the time because he knows everyone, and if he doesn't, he's going to make sure he does. So and then not only that, but then how you guys interact with each other. You guys joke on each other, but at the end of the day, it's all love. So I think there's power in what you guys are creating. And I'm excited for our coaches to kind of just jump on this thing and support it like craziness because it's going to be great. So here's the thing. I want to know about how you guys first met each other. Like, I know some of it's through soccer, but like, how did you guys, meet?
I actually don't even remember the first time I met you.
That's how old you are. That's how old you are.
That's so bad. I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, where did we actually meet? Because it had to be with the national team or something.
The first time I personally met these two guys in terms of seeing them or heard about them was I was playing for in the Copa Latina. There's a Haitian squad in Miami. If you don't know what Copa Latina is, one of the biggest, the largest men's tournament in Miami, and every country has a team. So Haiti was always known for being one of the best teams, and they would bring over the Haitian national team to come over and play in that Copa Latina. And they would put them up, and all the news and the Haitian community would come out. It was beautiful. It was like 20,000 people would come to the games. So these two gentlemen were getting ready for a U20, I think it was CONCACAF Championship. I don't think it was the World Cup. And they came and played a friendly against us. And I remember playing against these guys and kicking DaMarcus, Beasley, and this little squirmy kid. I said, there's no way this squirmy kid's going to outplay me. And I kicked him, he fell down, and the same time he hit the ground, he got up and ran. It was weird. I didn't understand that. And then Gooch, this big tree in the back, was so hard to get past. He was so quick. But again, these guys represent the golden era, I say, of U.S. soccer. I call these guys sometimes the guinea pigs. These guys were the first ones to be in the residency.
Yeah.
And they went to the U17 World Cup and did a tremendous job and had tremendous careers. So, again, I think the great thing about the crack is that you have these two gentlemen who's played not only for the U.S. national team, but played, like you said, for one of the best clubs around the world and had the experience in Europe as two Americans who kind of trailblaze for the rest of these up-and-coming players. And then myself, who's a fan, I played collegiate soccer, played a little bit of professional, but I've been an enthusiast and I'm a fan. So I come from that angle while these guys have the expertise. So I think it's a great blend that we've been doing for over 10 years, 15 years. If it's through WhatsApp or if it's through the many cities that we get together and talk, or if it's through phone, we always have different ideas and different point of views about different topics. And I think our discussions will be very interesting.
And I'm hearing the radio voices like for a podcast. This is perfect, guys. I'm already hearing it. I feel like I'm on an episode right now. This is awesome. But did you guys get along? Did you guys get along at first? Were you guys first competitors? Because I mean, DaMarcus, you were a winger. Gooch was a defender. Like, what were those battles like? Were you guys trying to kill each other, or was it all love?
Nah, I think it was all love, wasn't it, Gooch? I don't think we. Okay, Gooch got out. Here we go. Here we go.
It was cool. Like we meshed. I remember my early memories of bees was early national team camp. This man loved to play craps. I was like, this kid would try to hustle anybody out of
taking everybody money, taking everybody money.
He's like, hey, you want to play craps? And I'm like, I don't know how to play craps, but I'll try.
So yeah, I taught him how to play, and then I took their money. So I wouldn't call it cheating, but I taught
him how to play badly.
Yeah, kinda. But back then we're all 16-year-old kids, and we're playing like for $1. basically the money that our parents sent us, because we're down in residency. So basically the money that our parents sent us, every week or month or whatever it was, and we had some left over. I would tell the boys to get more and let's shoot some crap.
And Gooch was a victim. Wasn't Gooch a victim?
I was an early victim. I was like,
early victim.
He's nice, so we can win some money. And then all of a sudden, right, I don't have any money.
You know what? And the funny thing about that, I wouldn't stop until I took everybody's money on the team. I had a list. So obviously some of the players didn't want to play. But the ones that did, I made sure that I went through the list and I took your money. I took your money.
Oh my gosh, you sound like Jordan right now, man. You sound like Jordan.
So I took
Jordan-esque here.
Definitely.
What's kept your friendship intact over these years? Like, you guys have all been boys since you're playing when you were boys. What's kept you guys together? What was it that kind of just made you guys pull and say, man, these are my boys. I need to kind of link with them and stay together?
I don't know. We're just real. Like, we don't sugarcoat anything. We don't, some friendships you'll hear people talking about someone behind their back, but if there's, I think generally speaking, if we have something to say, we'll just say it to each other's faces.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very quickly.
It's like one of the, and it's like, I remember when I was doing the Champions Rise here, and like, I didn't know you, Gooch. I made like one phone call and you were in, like, so I can attest to that too. Like, and then Mabricio is one of the first people that I just wanted on my strategic leadership team, because he's real, he's genuine. You kind of know what you get, and there's dependability in that, right? Especially when you're trying to do big things in the landscape of soccer for communities and for people who are underserved. Like, those are the things you look for. And DaMarcus, I'll be hitting you up soon to help us with some things too. But anyhow, let's go to the next question.
For sure.
Let's talk about the U.S. national team experience. Because I talked to Etan Buttle yesterday and hearing his story, and he brought you guys up a lot because he was just like, man, these guys, like the IMG experience that they had. And as Mabricio said, you guys really wore the golden age of soccer, and you guys really did your thing when you were able to be on the world stage. What was it like making it on a national team?
Yeah, I mean, Gooch and I, we grew up in U.S. soccer. We was in the U17s, the U20s, U23s, and then to the men's team. So we went through literally every phase, through the national team back then. And, to finally, get to a World Cup, that's every soccer kid's dream, because that's the mecca of soccer. That's the highlight of our sport, and every sport has their highest threshold, their mecca of to get to the highest level you can get to. And for us, it's the World Cup. Representing your country. It's not a club team. It's your country. You're really playing for something bigger than yourself. So to finally get there, and in my first one was surprising, to be honest. I'll be honest, it was surprising, but at the same time, it just felt really, really good to accomplish one of my goals, and I would never have thought, because every kid has goals, but I've never thought, me from Fort Wayne, Indiana, growing up where soccer wasn't even I had two black teammates. My parents didn't play soccer. There was no soccer background to one day be able to.
There were two on one team.
Yeah, that was it.
One of them was his brother.
I was gonna say, lucky you.
Yeah, I mean, I
didn't see that till college.
Yeah, so wow. I mean, for me, that was it, and so it was just a great feeling to be able to accomplish, one of my goals, and for me, like I said, it was bigger than me, and it was bigger than just me making it. It was for my family. It was from my hometown. It was for for us as a culture. It was for all those things, and it was for our country. So for me, it meant more than just me making it. I got to go, okay, there's a check mark. For me, it meant so much more than just that.
For me, like B said, we're literal products of U.S. soccer in every level, from state team, regional team, national team of youth to the first team. And I will say that, playing with B in every youth level, I looked up to him because him and Landon were that first from our group to make the men's team and play in the World Cup. So I remember that watching the 02 World Cup and saying to myself, oh, shoot, I was playing with these guys. Maybe I'm good enough to be with them, And so I remember after that World Cup, I really set a goal to be able to be looked at or be considered for the national team after that. And with a lot of hard work and some luck, I was able to achieve that.
But here's the thing. Did you guys know really how talented you were? When you think, like, what did it feel like when AC Milan wanted you? Like, come on now. Like, when you guys had some of these calls from some of these big clubs, like, were you still humble in that?
I thought it was a typo in the title when I saw it. I thought they got AC Milan mixed up with like DC Milan or something.
FC Milan.
No, I'm kidding.
No, to be fair, at that time, I think our national team was in a whirlwind of success, right?
Yeah.
Bees was playing in top level. Landon was getting notoriety. We had Steve Cherundolo killing it in the Bundesliga.
Yeah, we were like, dudes, we were like third in the world then.
Yeah,
at that time.
Yeah, it was.
Was that a typo? Oh, was that?
That probably was.
I don't know who U.S. Soccer paid for that. But.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Yeah, we were like third or fourth in the whole world at that point.
So like that. We were getting a lot of notoriety, but to be recognized by whether it be Rangers or Man City or PSV or AC Milan, it's humbling, and it's at the same time it's a vindicating moment, right? So it's like all your hard work has finally come to a culmination of this. You finally achieved a level of success that you've been working on since you were able to walk, right? And so it was like AC Milan, when I signed, it was kind of like an out-of-body experience, because you were like, shoot, like B said, he came from Fort Wayne, Indiana, and nobody's heard of Olney, Maryland, right? And it's a small city, and to just actually reflect and think about it, you're like, wow, this is amazing. So, like I said, it was extremely humbling, and it just the funny part is, it's like once you achieve that, that's when the real work starts, because that's when you have to like kind of stay in it and prove it, right?
Well, I'm thinking about just the people who you had on that team. Like, you had Pirlo, you had Ronaldinho, you had all the best from Italy, from Brazil, from Netherlands. I mean, my God, what was practice like? Like, especially as a defender. My gosh.
Practice was difficult. I'll tell you. Practice wasn't easy, right? And you wanted to show well at every practice, and it's hard to show well when everyone's so talented, right? But I remember, Ronaldinho and Seydorf, early days, they spoke to me, and they both told me, they're like, as soon as you understand that you deserve to be here, that's when everything will be easy, because it doesn't matter what pathway you took, we're all at the same destination. And so just embrace that and realize that, go out with no stress and just play.
Yeah. And I think that's why I'm excited for the pathway that many of you guys are choosing now. Because I know, DaMarcus, you were looking to have a USL team. You know, Gooch, you have this amazing business that you have. Mabricio has footballers that, you know, we love and we try to support as much as possible. But you guys also on a business end now, you're stepping out of being players into kind of being into that corporate world or figuring out what's next. And just as you spoke about what Sadar did for you, now you guys have that opportunity to kind of pour into this next generation of players. And I know from the last conversation I had with Gooch, like that's something that you're trying to do with player development, is to really make sure that you're putting, you know, youth or kids or, you know, people who want to play professionally at another level. And then I know, DaMarcus, you're looking into ownership, into making sure that representation looks differently. And I know Mabricio for years has been about empowering people from the community and lifting people up. So it's an exciting time right now, not only for your podcast, but for what you guys are doing in the world. It's going to change the landscape. Like with some of the adventures that you're doing right now, what are your goals? What are the things you're trying to accomplish with it?
I would say that with all of our ventures, after playing adventures, it's all about paving a smoother road for the next person, right? With all of our accomplishments in Mabricio, myself, and in DaMarcus, it means nothing if you can't help the next person do better. Mm-hmm. And so ultimately, that's why I started my company. I'm sure that's why Bees is getting involved in ownership, is to create an atmosphere that's better than we had, right? And it can mm-hmm. help promote the next player and help them be better. And footballer obviously speaks levels to the ethos that they're trying to bring, like you said, empowerment. And in a world where we didn't have that, we didn't have things like this or access mm-hmm. to things like this when we were growing up.
Yeah. I think.
Go ahead,
Bees. No, I think that on and off the field, we trying to make sure that, like Gooch said, set a better path. I know myself, I'm involved with coaching here in Eastern New York and up and down the East Coast. And every year we send kids to college. Every year we send kids to pros. We help them relationships with agents, with college coaches. So the people in the soccer world know what the Football Network has done for many players throughout the generations for the past 10 years. And it's exciting to see these gentlemen having the opportunity now. And I've, doing it on the field and now be able to put their hands on and with Gooch and myself and Gorez, working with Onyx Elite and, DaMarcus as well, who comes down and participates in the camp. I mean, these are things that we sat down and we realized that there was a void and we need to fill that gap. So instead of waiting for somebody else to do these things, we're just taking it in our own hands. And as well as we want to challenge and take on media, the way we want to do it,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, y'all based everything I wanted to say, so I was into that.
but Bees, I want you to stress how key, because Bees wasn't very friendly with the media to say, meaning that he didn't take every interview and he didn't really put himself out there as a brand, as a player. He wanted to work on the field and make that proof to the world. But I think Bees stepping into this market has something that is very passionate to him on how he wants to come across and present himself.
Yeah, I mean, for me, this is a new space, media. I'm not a social media guy. I don't post a lot of pictures on my IG and things like that. And when I was playing, when there was no IG, there was no Twitter, no Facebook. I didn't really talk to the media much. My whole thing was, like Mook said, let my feet do the talking. I would, if I got criticized, I wouldn't be the type to go back into the media and make an argument there. Me, it would be, oh, Beasley made 6 bad passes, whatever. I said, okay, I read it. That's fine. Next game, I'll score 3 goals, and then you don't have nothing to say. You know what I'm saying? So that was my mindset when I was a player. I didn't like to do, a lot of interviews and media. So I think, and Mook and Gooch had to kind of, not convince me, but just say, like when we talk, this is kind of how, it can be, just you being you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not, you have to be anybody different. You don't have to be, because I mean, your voice is, is unique. How you make different points is unique. Your own opinions. So that can be something that we can can use, and you can just be yourself, feel free to open up and whatever. So for me, it's a new space for me, but like Luke said, I'm embracing it. I want people to, somewhat see how I am, not just a closed book. I kind of want to open my book a little bit so people can see the real Bees and kind of say, oh, this man, he kind of funny a little bit.
And I think that's amazing too, because if you think about the way that the current climate is and how, fake and facetious people are with their social media pages, to just hear you saying that you're not about social media, it's a breath of fresh air. And it's why I'm even more excited about the podcast, is because everyone has an individual, appeal, and you're uniquely created to bring something to the world. So I'm excited for you to kind of venture out into that area, because it's so needed and it's so necessary. And I think the more everyone kind of embraces the space that they carry and the things that they can do, the better it will be, especially if you're coming from it at that lane. So I'm excited for you to be able to do that. That's amazing.
Appreciate it. I'm looking forward to it.
One thing I want to state is that Khabib's put it in the contract, is that we don't clout chase and we don't take people's quotes and run with it, right? We if somebody says something, we read the whole paragraph, right? We stress that we want to be genuine and we don't want to try to just get clickbaits, right? This is a very genuine conversation. We want the crack to be something where people just feel like they're on a fly on the wall throughout the conversation,
So you guys are making me completely switch this interview up, because I kind of like direct. No, I'm serious, because I think it's important that people hear more about what your podcast is going to kind of bring, because I wanted to ask all these questions about you guys playing. But I think it's so important that we just talk about your podcast, the importance of representation, the power of your voices kind of being out there. Because at this point, I'm just going to send this out there for my coaches and our community to get amped about this. This is a great time and a great space where people are kind of, they're silent right now. They're kind of sitting and just, listening to different things. But I think to hear from you guys, the things that you guys are talking about, because everyone's just sitting around and having conversations anyway, I'm excited for what you guys can kind of bring. So I just want to talk about this real quick. When you guys were playing, and you guys traveled all over the place, because I'm going to circle this back. How did you guys mentally and emotionally deal with the pressures, the stresses, and the challenges of being away from family and friends and things like that? I'll circle back. I'll tie it in.
I don't know. I think, especially our group, when we were young, our U17s, we were quite unique, and we had a stable understanding of what we were trying to achieve, right? So we knew the sacrifices, being away from home, being away from family, living together. It was kind of unheard of and unnatural to us at the time, but we kind of went with it, and we were just like, oh, okay, this is what we have to do if we want to achieve this. Head down and just work. At least that's how I interpreted it. Bees, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was going to say, and I think that was instilled in us at a younger age. So it made it a little bit easier, because it wasn't easy, but a little bit easier, a little bit smoother, when we went to the professional ring, because that was already in our mindset, what I'm saying, in our mentality. So, obviously, you get to different teams, and every team has a different mentality or different levels of winning, or it's a smaller club, and their aspirations are a little bit, they're not as big as if you were at AC Milan. So those things are always different, but having that mentality of what you needed to do to achieve your goal, and obviously the goals of whatever the team you're with, I think that having that in the beginning of our careers helped tremendously throughout our careers as we moved to different places in different countries.
So how did you guys ever have to just help each other? Were there times when you can see one of you was down and you just kind of had to just step in there and say, hey, let me help you out here? Did you guys ever have to do that for each other?
I mean, I think so. And Goose probably doesn't even know, this. I guess I'll step in and say this, but when I was, and this is real. This is nothing fake. This is when I was in Germany, and I wasn't, getting called into the national team. I wasn't playing, and I remember it was a game. Was it a qualifying? I think it was a qualifying game in Chicago, and usually before that I would play, I would start, I would come in, there'd be no problem. But I really wasn't playing at the time my club team, but I was still getting called into the national team. And I remember, I didn't play that game, and I remember Gooch, he came to me and was like, "Bees, you gotta change some stuff in your life, man. Like, if this is what you want to do." And I knew exactly what he was talking about. You know what I'm saying? Because it was in Chicago, it was close to my home. So my brother came up, and we did some things we probably shouldn't have done. So my concentration wasn't 100% on the game, And, and Goose told me, and and back then when I was a kid, I was younger, I was like, I was making excuses. The coach is being he's being an asshole. He doesn't want to, do this. And literally Goose just told me, and this is why we're friends. This is what we're saying. Goose literally said that in his, in the beginning, we don't sugarcoat nothing. We say it right to your face and whatever. And he told me, he's like, Bees, you gotta, if you want to get better, you gotta change the way you're doing things. It's not going to work the way, the way the coach wants, the way the team wants. He's like, you got to change how you are or change what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? To get back to where you were. And I still take that. And I still remember that, you know what I'm saying? And that's something that we've always had and kind of a little bit of what you're talking about.
Well, I'm glad.
Did you even know that?
I had no, well, I probably did say it, but like you said, there were so many real conversations that you don't really pinpoint. I mean, Bees is.
I remember that because you said it to me. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like you probably said it a million times to different people, but you saying it to me as my friend, my homie that we've already played in World Cups, U17 World Cups, and been friends for I don't know how long. You know what I'm saying? For you to come at me and say that to me, like seriously, it wasn't no just joke. You know what I'm saying? Seriously, that's when I was like, okay, yeah.
Bees was the reason I stopped lifting weights so heavily. He doesn't even know. It was it was a national. We were roommates for the national team, and after one game, and he was joking in natural Bees fashion, and he goes, "You playing the wrong football," and I was like, and he was just joking, right? And I thought about it, and I was like, "Why am I this big?" I was like, I was like, "There's no reason. There's no reason." He said it in jest, and I internalized it. I was like, you know what? I got to slim up because I don't need to be this big to be strong, right? And it was a mentality shift from that silly joke of a comment. But yeah,
that's very funny.
Question. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
What does a day at the gym look like for you guys, man? Yeah, you guys probably can still play right now. What does a day at the gym look like?
Shoulder push-ups.
For me.
I still go to the gym. I was more of the cardio guy, so I don't mind.
You can run all day.
Yeah, I can run. If I go to the gym, I'll do some. Even now, like if I go to the gym, I'll do some weights, but I'll be on a treadmill. I do. I'm a more of a core. Abs, push-ups, that kind of thing. But I'm not going to be in there lifting weights and going.
Well, you must have been so frustrating because you would run the same in the first minute and to the 120th minute. Like you were running the same. I'm like, I don't know how that man does that.
I got more frustrated when I had to go to the gym when I was playing.
Yeah, Bees was not a happy camper whenever we had team gym sessions. He'd be like, "Man, why I got to do this?
Yeah.
Why we here?"
Yeah. That was not my specialty. No, definitely not.
And I wanted to ask those questions to tie it back in because I think the importance of the podcast you're creating is we're talking about that authenticity and we're talking about just that genuine love and solidarity of three brothers, especially in this climate where things are kind of, for Black men, it's rough right now. So I think to see you guys who for years have come together, supporting each other, lifting each other up, rising to the top of the game and continuing to do that, it's so important and valuable for people to see. So I want to commend you guys on who you are as human beings, what you're showing people, the example that you've set. I know it couldn't have been easy, and I know you guys didn't do it on purpose, but you guys were great role models. You're on a world stage and you didn't. I know that's just who you guys are innately, which is why more people should watch your podcast. Because I think whether you know it or not, just like Bees just said, there's things that you're going to talk about that's going to bless people in a way that you're not even going to be aware of just because of who you guys are. So I want to thank you for all the work that you've done as players, as ambassadors, as people from our community. Just lots of love and respect to you guys for all that you've done, whether you know it or not. We appreciate everything you guys have ever done in this game.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. And so just a couple more questions, because I know we all kind of have some things to get to after this. But well, let's ask this. What do you guys, what keeps you guys inspired and what keeps you motivated?
I mean, for me, my daughter's a big, inspiration for me. That's hands down the most inspirational thing that's happened to me since she's been born. Cause just trying to, well, not trying, but kind of changing the chip in my head. Just being from a soccer player to being a dad. It's a whole different life. Like I want to, show her. I try to show her strength. From being a woman, being a Black woman at that. She's only 6, but because I mean we watch this thing, and I'll just say this really quick. We watch this thing on TV, the American Ninja Warrior it's called, and they have a kids. Yeah, they have a kids, but they have a kids one too. There's girls going against boys, and some of these young girls are strong, and they're winning the competition, and they're doing very well. And I'm telling my daughter, I'm like, this could be you, because she's very sporty. She's very sporty. She loves gymnastics, so she likes all the tumbling and all the cartwheels and stuff like that. So, but I try to just tell her, that can be you. It doesn't matter if it's a boy or girl. If you have the will and drive to win and to be better, you can do that. Women are strong, just like men. That should have nothing to do with how you see yourself as a woman or as a girl. I say, whatever. And that part is just me. And it's just inspirational because being a girl dad, as people say it now, it motivates me in a way. Yeah, it motivates me in a way that to work harder, to give her a life that I didn't have when I was growing up. And just show her, some of the experiences that I've had throughout my life.
That's great.
For me, it's just trying to achieve a level of success that hasn't been seen before. Like you said, especially in the African American community, in soccer in America, you don't see a lot of stories about Black players doing this or minorities doing that. And I think it's important for people like me, people like Mookie, people like Bees, who I own my company. Bees is now about to own a professional team. Mookie owns his own company. To be able to be examples for the next generation, to be like, yeah, we can. And then at the same time, we're doing this, but we're bringing each other up together and creating something that we can, attach other people that look like us into the same project. So for me, it's like B said, my family, my faith, but it's also blazing a path for another kid that looked like me growing up. When I was young, and I saw Eddie Pope on TV, I was like, wow, like this Black guy, I can do that. Why not? He did it, I can do it. And then
but then you take it a step further, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You use the path that the prior generations gave you to be able to go further. And that's just, we're just trying to play our parts.
Yeah, definitely. I take what two of our brothers just said. Keeps us inspired also is having good friendships. I try to make sure I inspire these guys as they inspire me. But I think we all have the passion to do better for the next generation. And I know myself, who's a 79 baby, the things I went through is a little bit different than what these guys who are a little bit younger than they went through in the spectrum of U.S. soccer. And we want to make sure that we keep on raising the bar and making it easier and easier for the next generation. And it was important to have coaches and businessmen who look like us, so we can say this is something that another angle you can take, right? And you can aspire to be. So inspiration for myself, it comes from my ambition and just life, right? And I want to be better.
Normally, I always end with what the greatest contribution is going to be, but I'm not even going to do that because I think we've covered that in this. I think you guys will continue to do what you've always done, and that's just to kind of leave the world on fire, and you're making sure that other people have the opportunity. So I just really want to thank you guys for being on our 3rd episode of Chair Talk. I'm looking forward for that first. I won't tell the date that your podcast is coming up, but I'm going to make sure that we share it. Thank you guys for your time. I definitely want to have you guys back on so we can talk more about like just the soccer end of things and moving into business. But thank you for your time. Thank you for all you've done. And I'm excited to watch you guys continue just to set things on fire. Appreciate you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Gooch, how do you say the crack?
The crack.
There you go. There you go. Thank you, Nicole.
All right, guys. Take
Thank you,
care.
Nicole. Nice to meet you.
All right.
Oh, nice
Bye-bye.
to meet you. All right, bye.